All right, so we're going to take a walk down to the D-Threads T2 Golf Splashers. Okay. D-Threads T2 Golf Splashers with their pick in round number 10. They're selecting Bryce Robinson with their pick in round number 10. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're into the final round. 6 players left to be selected. I won't want to be a player who hasn't been selected and is watching on the live to find out if I'm going to be part of the tournament. All right, so 6 players. We can say 5 because I have one in my hand already from the D-Thread T2 Golf Splashers. With their final pick, round number 11, the D-Thread T2 Golf Splashers are selecting Shamoy Williams, final pick for the D-Threads T2 Golf Splashers. Sari Sunrisers, with their final pick, round number 11, they're selecting Brad George with the final pick for the Sari Sunrisers. Brad George. Valley Hikers, you guys are on the clock. Final pick. 60 seconds. Michael Joseph is making a last-minute phone call. Gary Benjamin and the Valley Hikers have 40 more seconds. Final deliberations. So many names to go through. One more pick. Valley Hikers. And their most important pick. Valley Hikers are selecting Alvinson Jolly with their final pick in round 11. We're heading down to the Barano Ote Warriors. One more pick to go. And the Barano Ote Warriors, with their final pick, are selecting Liberd Daru, Augustine Beno Pascal, Kyron Phillip, Nestor Phillip, Indian River Rowers. Your final pick. Indian River Rowers, with their final pick, are selecting Makelly Bernard. Makelly Bernard, Indian River Rowers. And now we're down to the final pick in this year's draft. Remember, we're coming down to the stadium on the 13th of July and we're staying there until the 27th because these are the match days for the 7th edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. One pick to go. Champagne Reef Divers with the Clement Marsler pick. And they are selecting let's see if I can just get that verified. All right. Final pick. Champagne Reef Divers. Melvin Defoe, you should play some lotto tonight because you're a lucky guy. Final pick goes to Melvin Defoe. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the player draft. Very soon we'll just get some reaction from representatives of the various teams. But before we do so, we want to highlight the managers of the respective franchises. You know, the coaches as well. Without the technical staff, you know, this tournament would not be a possibility. Barana OT Warriors, Marguerite and Baptist, good afternoon to you. Manager of the Barana OT Warriors. Nestor Philip, welcome on board. New manager for the Indian River Rowers. Gary Benjamin, no stranger at all to the managerial duties for the Valley Hikers. So Gerald George, manager of the Sari Sari Sunrisers team. Kimaro Ito, welcome back to the tournament. We missed you last season. You're back with the Champion Reef Divers. And of course, for the Detroit T2 Girl Splashers, their manager is not here, but it's Mr. McDowell Paul. And Gabriel Robinson as well, serving as managers for the franchises. All right, we're going to hear from the coaches as they will give us a brief rundown on their selections, main reasons behind their selection. So I'll just come across. No, let's come across to the respective coaches. We'll start with the defending champions, the Barana OT Warriors, and their head coach, John Fabian. And John, you know, you could just give us some quick insight into your team selected tonight.
Well, we had to go back to the drawing board this tournament, being that everybody's back in the draft. We would have loved to have kept our championship team from last season, but we know that's not how it is. We are unfortunate to have lost a few players, but then with replacements, we expect them to step up and do the job and then work as hard to defend our title as we can.
All right, quick word on your overseas players selected.
Well, we retained, well, not retained, but we brought back one of those that we had last year, and then we have Sunil Lambris, a very exciting and explosive top-order batsman. Sunil Lambris, a very exciting and explosive top-order batsman. And then we expect them to do well, and we're just looking forward to seeing a performance for the tournament.
All right, so defending champions, but it's always said that it's hard to repeat as champions. What will be the mindset as you guys head into the competition?
Well, defending is always difficult, even this year being even more difficult, the fact that we couldn't retain any players, the fact that everybody had to go back into the draft. But we are confident in the players that we were able to pick in the draft. And it's not about just the big names, it's the environment and the culture of the Barana OT Warriors. It's the culture and the environment and making players feel comfortable that brings out the best in them. We're unfortunate to lose our MVP of last year. He's gone to the Splashers, but it's okay. It's the Barana OT spirit that brings out the best in players, and we'll see that for the next tournament.
Well said, John Fabian. Wish you all the best as the tournament gets underway. All right, John Fabian. We're going to go across to the Indian River Rowers. We're going up the table. Augustine Beno Pascal, you're the head coach of the Rowers. And of course, you just had the draft. Just give me some of your thoughts on the draft.
I thought the draft went well. It was a very interesting draft. The fact that everybody was back in the draft, in the pool, I thought it was a very interesting experience on that basis. The fact that some players switched, teams and stuff. I thought for us it was a pleasing thing to be able to have Stephen Natron back with us. As you know, he played with us for the first part of the Dream 11, and we are very excited to have him back. We also wanted to add, there's a saying in cricket that batsmen win you games, but bowlers win you championships. So we were able to get in Janga Ifield, who's one of the top guys in that type of cricket around the region, around the Caribbean. And we were able to secure him, and we are very happy with that. With regards to the local talent, most of them, these are guys I would have known, I would have coached in my club summits and stuff. So it was a foregone conclusion to just get them on board, and we can continue working together. We've been having a very exciting year thus far, and the work will just continue in July.
All right, thank you very much, Augustine Beno Pascal, coach of the Indian River Rowers. All right, who's going to be representing the Valley Hikers? Let's go over to Ray Kazimi, who's the head coach. You could just hold on to the mic. Ray, just give me your thoughts on the draft. How did it go for you today?
It went well. I think that we're confident in the guys that we selected. I just hope that come this T10, we do better this year. We were champions 2 years in a row. I just hope that when the players that we picked come good, and some of them in the T10s out there are doing well. So we just pray that our players go there and do well. Everything went the way we planned. We had some meetings with the manager, the coach, and the captain. Well put together team. Although some players that we had on our list go other teams, but we're confident in what we come up with. So.
A quick word on your overseas players and what they bring to the team.
Well, people like Cheyenne, we know, comes in this T10 and dominate. He's a very hard-hitting player, batsman, and even, well, some of them I doesn't know. Well, St. Paul, we know, can do it for us. He has been doing it in the T10s outside there. Our next overseas player, I'm not too familiar with him, but as the coach and as the manager and the
Nature boy, captain, yeah.
Pointed out, he's very good out there. So I back them in picking him. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what he can do.
All right. Thank you very much, Ray Kazimi. And all the best as the tournament gets underway in July. We're heading over to the Sari Sunrisers. Sam Kernon. And Sam, you've gone with a number of youngsters as well. You've also gone back with some familiar names. Darren Benta and stuff. Just your quick thoughts on your team selected.
Yeah, what I find this edition is most of the players I wanted to select were already taking my other teams. But it's not a problem because I think I've got a good young team. I think fielding and catching is going to be important, which is always important in these tournaments. So I believe that a crop of youngsters, and most of them are very fine fielders, they'll do well for us.
All right, they'll do well for you. Quick word on your overseas players and what you hope that they can bring to the tournament this year.
Well, everybody know Kofi. You know, Kofi is exceptional. We just saw him in a breakout league. We see what he can do. We just hope that when he comes, he can transfer the same kind of things he was doing in the breakout to Sari. Again, Benta, fine wicket keeper. And Kadim Alin, explosive player. So I believe with those fellas at the top, we'll be all right. We'll be fine.
All right.
Sorry to the world.
sorry to the world. Thank you very much, Sam Kernon. Phoenix Thomas, a quick word on your selections this afternoon.
Well, clearly, when you look at what Champagne has this edition, is again we packing our team with explosive players from the top. We obviously you've seen that with the addition of the Spiceman, is no stranger to the shorter version of the game. And Dijon Charles I wouldn't say he's unknown to us here, but he has light up the VPL, doing his thing in Trinidad and now in Grenada. So we just hope that he continues that fire. His selection mainly came from our captain, Alec, who called me and said me that, hey, he has had discussion with this player. Take a look at some clips, and then obviously I liked what I saw. So we went with those guys. So after speaking to Alec, he said, with this top 5 or top 6, what he needs me to do in this draft is just go and pick some bowlers for him. They think that they can manage that. So the other teams, it's not putting up any warning to anybody, but they have to look out.
They have to look out. Shots fired very early, all right? Thank you very much, Phoenix Thomas. And now for the final coach this afternoon or this evening, Mervyn Thomas of the D-Threads T2 God Splashers. And you guys have done some rebuilding. Just talk to me about your team.
Well, the first shall be the last. So I'm speaking last, will be first. Really good overseas signings. McDonald, of course, last year was the MVP of the tournament. Darren Ned needs no introduction. And of course, Asif Hooper, a left-arm spinner from St. Vincent, has been blazing the T10 trail. Locally, I mean, we did a lot of planning. And as you can see, we saw what happened in the last T10 tournament with some of the local players like Ifan, Jerry, who did really well for Champagne. And we felt, of course, going back to Lex, who is, we know the level of commitment he brings. Sawan Lockhart did really well for Rose. So we did our homework, and basically we can say we got what we needed in the draft for this upcoming T10.
All right. Well, all the best, and I hope that you can translate that from the paper onto the field and to be a big year for the D-Threads, T2 Girls Splashers. Thank you very much, Mervyn Thomas. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe that brings us to the end of the player draft. Congratulations to all of the players who were selected this evening. Hard luck to those who were not, and better luck next time around. All right, so they said that's all. I'd like to invite you back to the stadium on the 13th of July. Remember, that's when the competition starts. 13th until the 27th. Let's see who's going to dethrone the Barano OT Warriors, or will the Barano OT Warriors retain their championship? We'll only find out in a few weeks' time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out.
Good job, man.